Good morning, my beautiful people. How are you all over social media land? Hello to those of you on LinkedIn. Good morning to those of you on YouTube. And good morning to you, all of you who are all over Facebook. It is wonderful to be with you this morning on this beautiful Thursday. We are here today, as promised, for another sponsor spotlight, another one of our beautiful sponsors who is joining in with our October Heart and Soul Virtual Expo on the 9th, 10th and 11th of October. Coming up, it is less than 2 weeks away now. Oh my God, I had a slight panic yesterday when I realised that it was 2 weeks to go, because there still is a lot to go and organise. However, that's not what we're here today to talk about today. We have a beautiful guest with us today. And just before I bring her up, yes, I can see that I'm live. Beautiful. Okay. So her name is the wonderful Helen Prince. She is an absolutely beautiful soul. And she is going to talk to us about her business, Future Proof Your Finances. And this is a dedicated service, and I love this, for helping women to take charge of their financial futures and redefine their relationship with money. And this, I'm honestly dead set looking so forward to this discussion, because I can relate to this more than a lot of people will know. So let's bring Helen up now and say, hello, lovely lady. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you?
Right. As I said, I'm truly looking forward to this interview and just hearing more about your story and how you've come to, be in this space of helping women with their finances. So I'm just going to say, let's dive right into it and tell us a little bit about
Absolutely.
your history, how you've come to be where you are now.
Yep. So it's only still quite fresh, this change in tact. So it was only in May this year. So I had been doing one thing for many, many years. And in May, so Matt and I went away. Our birthdays are very close together. So we went away. Actually, I tagged onto his golf trip, if we want to be a little bit honest. He does he goes away. The boys have their golf trip once a year, and they were going down to the Hunter Valley. So I thought, that sounds nice. Never been there. So a couple of other partners also have gone, oh, hang on a minute. She's going, we're coming. So we made it before the weekend. We went down early and we spent a week down at the Hunter Valley. The boys stayed down there. The girls came home. So we had this beautiful time down there together. On the Sunday before I was meant to start back and work again, I got an email and said, thanks very much, but don't bother. It's like, your services are no longer needed. And it was like, oh, shit. Yeah. So anyway, there was, so I sort of sat there like a stunned mullet for a little bit, and I'm reading it, and it's like, oh, crap. And, I had the panic, and then I went through all the emotions, and I called Matt, and he's just amazing. So he's just gone, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to be okay. Yeah, take a breath. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. And fortunately, we are in a position where it could have been so much worse than it was. But, he's got a job, and we've got savings. And so we're not, we weren't desperate. But still needed to find something else to replace. It was actually 2 incomes I needed to replace. And I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. There's a whole story to that, which isn't important. But I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. So I needed to find something completely different. And then it's like, well, I don't know. What am I going to do? Because I haven't really been properly working 9 to 5. The last time I did 9 to 5 was 2006. Just before my daughter was born. So, 5 minutes ago. And it was just before, because I finished, the reason I finished there was because I was having Izzy, our eldest daughter. And so, but after that, I've been a mum, and then working sort of online, doing, different things. Anyway, so then I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? I haven't worked for a long time. I don't even know where my resume is. I don't think I have a resume. So then I started going through that. Oh, well, I've got to put a resume together. And it's like, okay, well, when was that? I know I was there, but what year was that? And I know I was there then. And I put down all this stuff. And I had to actually Google some stuff to find out, because my dates weren't lining up. And I'm doing all this, putting it all together. And it's going, nobody gives a shit what you were doing 20 years ago, Helen. Yeah, it's not relevant.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, who is actually going to hire you? Let's be a little bit serious here. Who's actually going to hire you? You have no current skills, I guess. And plus, on top of that, I didn't want to work 9 to 5. So I'm just half-assing it anyway, and I didn't want to do it. And yeah, so it was like, oh, I don't, no. And I went into that whole, I had the pity party, I was doing the blame, I was angry, I was scared, I was everything.
Yeah.
And then one day, because then I'm thinking, oh, maybe I can sell something. What can I sell? I don't know how to make anything. And then one day I've just sort of sitting there doing, I don't know what I was doing. And it's gone, oh, well, you've got those drops that you got your mum onto. So these are the golden drops. It's like, you don't actually have to go and reinvent the wheel. You've got this. So there's one thing that you can do. And then when everything sort of calmed down a little bit, and I'm a big law of attraction junkie, right? So I knew that I had to sort of change my mindset. I knew I had to change my vibration. I knew I had to do all of that. Knowing and doing can be a little bit tricky though.
Yes.
So, but I got there eventually. And once that happened, and so I've started really focusing and getting into the golden drop. So that's the other business that I have. And I just happened to go along to somebody's live that I didn't really need to, or I don't know. It was one of those weird things where a little voice in my head said, just go. All right. It didn't make logical sense. Yeah.
Love those ones.
Yeah. There was no logic to it. Okay. Just go. Okay. And so I went along, and on this live, there was a comment that would have been like a 3-second comment about crypto. Now, I have for years and years and years and years been wanting to do something in the crypto space, but a little bit scared. You get all those people sending you messages and you don't know who they are, and it's like, it's all a bit too scary. And anyway, and I knew that there was something I was looking for, right? I wanted something that would just do its own thing and I didn't have to do anything. I know that sounds super lazy, but that's what I wanted.
Right.
And I knew it was there.
And guess what? You found it.
Yeah, I knew it was there, but I didn't know what it was. And then I heard this and I've just gone ping, and it's like, oh, I know you, not you. I know the lady who was doing the webinar. So I know you know her. I trust you, you like and trust her. So, all right, I'm going to go and chat to this woman. And then the rest is, so history. And that got me onto this other path about looking at, how to get something happening that would just sort of run in the background. And it was when all of this sort of happened in May, it really gave me a big wake-up call. And when I'm trying to, find a job and do all of that sort of stuff, there's some really pretty scary stats. And I think Channel 7 and Channel 9 did a story, I don't know how long ago, but they're talking about, women who are 55 and over couch surfing because of the rental crisis. And then, and then people can't get out of that rental whole thing. So there's that insecurity about that. Women are becoming the new homeless. 55 and over are becoming the new homeless. It's jumped by 30%. There's some really awful stats going on for women in my age group, and that sort of drives why I do what I do as well. It's like that's not fair, and that's not good, and you know, because women, we give so much of ourselves, and life happens, whatever happens. A husband is not a backup plan, because you know, divorce happens and then we lose out again. We generally are not good with money. We haven't got the same financial literature that a lot of guys have got. We don't like money. We know we need money, but it's that like, nah, don't talk about it. I don't like to talk about it, and that sort of thing. So that's what I really want to change. It's like, it's not a dirty word. It's something that everyone deserves and everyone can have. So let's have a conversation about it. Let's change the way you think about it, first of all, and then do something about it to look after you, because you know, you give so much. It's your turn. You shouldn't be in that position later in life.
You're right. And everything you have just said, Helen, in all honesty, gets me right here. And this is why I've been looking so forward to having this conversation with you, because I have potentially been one of those women. Thankfully, I haven't been to that point of homelessness.
Yeah.
But a bit of my story is that at the end of 2022, I became single again. So I didn't have the backup of a partner anymore. I was running my own business, but it was potentially, you know, if I didn't essentially get my shit together financially, I was going to be homeless. And, you know, I was actually literally having a conversation with someone about it last night, and they, you know, I was telling them about you and that we were going to talk today and, you know, what you do. And I was saying how, you know, I'm so very grateful right now that I'm in the position I'm in. Yes, I'm renting, but yes, I have a roof over my head. Yes, I've got money in the bank, you know, and I'm so grateful for it. But as you say, there are so many of us at this age, for whatever reason, and women who, you know, like your circumstances have, you know, had a sudden change, and we're all like, what do we do now? What do we do now? So it is a scary place to be. I know that. And in business too. And this is why I think that I respect from your side, you know, you say that it sounds lazy, but I don't think it does. I think it sounds the opposite. I think that if we can have something in our lives that's just sitting there in the background working for us, how much stress would that take away?
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then on so many levels though. And then, you know, because a lot of women do want to do their own thing. They want to be their own boss, but not everyone is actually able to. There's a lot of things, you know, we tell ourselves too many stories that stop that. And as much as it's nice to want to do that, the reality is not everyone is sort of equipped to do that, because it does take work to make a business work. And being able to do what you love because you love it, not because, oh Christ, I've got to go and get, you know, 20 customers or clients or whatever, because there's that added pressure of having to make money. When you do what you love and you're not stressed, it will all come. But it's that catch-22. How do you not stress when you know there's, oh, here's a bill and here's what's going on, and it's hard to sort of get out of that that little roundabout, isn't it? And another thing too is that, you know, and so there's a lot of pressure when you have your own business to get your clients. Then there's the pressure if you are employed by somebody else. There's no guarantee. They could fire you. They could close up shop, because it is hard to keep a business going. And there's they reckon that in the next 4 years, just AI is going to replace about 1.3 million jobs in Australia. And by 2030, AI will replace anywhere between 400 and 800 million jobs around the world. So
Whoa, that's fine, doesn't it?
that too is like there is no security anymore.
That's scary.
There's no job security. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
scary. It is scary. But
Wow.
what I've found though is, because there's one thing that's going to happen. Like we all, and look, in that whole crypto space, it's just money, all right? Crypto is just a different form of money. It's just digital currency. It's doing things online. We're never not going to use money.
And when you
So
think
that
about
is
it,
never not
money
gonna.
is digital in this day and age anyway, really, isn't it? We have Visa cards, we pay by SPOS, that's all digital anyway. So how is crypto much different from that? Although people see it as a dirty word.
Yeah, and it's because that people have been taken advantage of it before. But I mean, there's people have been taken advantage and had their bank accounts,
Exactly.
hacked and things like that. Digital crypto's actually more secure in the way that it's a decentralized network versus a centralized. So the banking system today is a centralized network. A lot of stuff that is on the centralized network means that one entity controls it.
Yep,
So
yep.
you remember however weeks or months ago it was when everything sort of went to poo and we couldn't buy
Yeah.
things, and it was because a company in America upgraded their software, went down for 1 hour,
1 hour.
only 1 hour,
I know.
but it went smack across the world, and everyone's going, oh crap, what's going on here? So that's what can happen in a centralized network. Crypto lives in a decentralized network where that can't happen, because it's not one thing running it. It's like it's spread across the world. I can't read that comment.
That's right.
So you're going to have to read it out to me.
Susie has said crypto will be the future, and that's the reality of it. But this one says, and look at what the banks have created in 2008 with the GFC, so that banks are not institutions that we can trust anymore. Yeah.
No.
Yes. So
because they can shut you out of your account if they think there's some sort of dodgy stuff going on. It's like, oh look, if I want to send money to my Nigerian prince, that's my business, and I appreciate that you're looking out for me with the scams and all of that sort of stuff. But if I can prove to you that no, I did that purposefully, I did it consciously, there's no scam or fraud going on here, then let me at my money. Do you know what I mean?
My Nigerian prince.
Yeah, that's right. He loves me. But that's what they can do. They can say, well, no, we're freezing your accounts because we think that it's not legit. But anyway, I digress.
Anyway, there's a lot going on in the crypto space, and this is the thing. And so one thing I think I want to know, and it's a question that keeps coming up on my mind. So you're looking to help women who are not necessarily financial, who want to be financial. Now, a lot of the time in these situations, it's a catch-22 because people don't have the money to invest. To put it in. So where do we start?
Mm-hmm.
Where do we start?
Well, so this is the thing. You can start with a really tiny amount of money. And actually, I've helped a woman in the Netherlands just yesterday. So all right. So if I back up just a little bit, in the crypto space, there's lots of different ways that you can buy and trade. It's like, think of it the same way that you would with any share. Any company that sells shares, you go onto the stock exchange, you say, I want, this many dollars worth of BHP shares. You buy it here, you hope that it's going to increase so that you make some money. When the market does what it does, and you go, oh shit. But as long as you're in there for the long term, and as long as it keeps growing, you're going to make money, okay? When you then sell those shares. So that is just one way. And crypto's the same. You can buy and sell digital currency the same way. So that's just one way of doing it. I personally don't do that. I don't like that. It's too stressful for me. And I don't understand it. You've got to really know what you're doing as well. And this is where a lot of, like the mum and dad investors can get a little bit burnt because they don't have a lot of money to invest, and they go in. If they don't have good advice, then they can easily lose their money. So I don't do trading like that. So what I do is there's these things called supernodes in the cryptocurrency space. And if you think of it like, so all it is essentially it's this little machine, and it provides computing power to the network. And I won't go too, I don't want to confuse people, but essentially every time we pay for something with the card, or we go to the movies and we've bought our ticket online and we show our little barcode and say here, and they scan it and say, yep, you're good to go, you can go in. Anytime you do anything like that, the transaction has to be validated. All right. So I can't rock up with a Photoshop movie ticket and say, let me in, because it'll say, no, because it does that whole validation thing. When you buy something, it goes, okay, does she have the money? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Declined, approved. Okay, so there's a validation that happens. So what these little machines do is they provide some computing power to do those validations. It's for storage space. It does a lot of stuff. But essentially, you buy this machine and then you link tokens to it. So think of it like you get a term deposit. You put money into the term deposit thing with the bank. At the end of the year, the bank's going to give you 5% of whatever you put in. So if you gave them $5,000, you're going to get, what is that? $250? Is that 5% of 5,000?
Yes.
Yeah, $250. Great. That's awesome. Meanwhile, the bank has used your money to make a cajillion dollars. That's how they work. So these little machines, think of them like having a term deposit but on steroids. Okay, so every time, because you're providing this service to the network, the blockchain network, you're going to be rewarded daily, not annually, on what you've got linked to the machine. And it also uses compounding, which is the greatest thing ever invented in the world. I'm going to talk more about compounding at the Expo. I won't get into it now, but compounding is just how you are able to, you can make a little bit of money go in a short amount of time because of compounding. It's brilliant. So these machines use compounding as well. So you're able to grow your money. And when I say it just happens in the background, you don't have to do anything. Just like if you put your money in a term deposit, it just happens in the background. You don't have to do anything. So same. In principle. Okay. So getting round to answer your question. There are lots of different machines that you can actually buy.
Right.
The smallest one starts at 100 US. The biggest one is 50,000 US. And there's lots in between as well. Obviously, the bigger the machine, the more computing power, the more, the higher the rewards that you get. So you can, you can go faster. But you can start with, as little as 200 US dollars. Okay, so 100 to buy the machine, 100 to buy $100 worth of the token to link to the machine. You have to link tokens to the machine to make it work. That's just how it is. So 200 US dollars today is, I don't know, about 300 Australian, something like that.
350, I think Australian, roughly 350, something like that. So it's still not a lot, really.
So you can, it's not a lot. So you can start with a very small amount. Obviously, it's going to take longer for it to get going. But so what? Do you know what I mean?
In the long run.
In the long run, what you're doing is you're creating this income stream that is properly passive. So, people talk about having passive income streams that but there's a lot of work to get to it. A proper passive income is if you write a song, And, you know, every time it gets played on the radio, you get a little royalty. If you've been in a movie, you get a little royalty if that's your arrangement. If you're a mortgage broker, you set it up. Every time they pay their thing, you get a little royalty. So that's proper passive income. You do something once, boom, and it just keeps working without you. So that's how this works. And what I'm also going to show you guys in the expo is what I've done for us. We've bought kind of a middle of the road one, and we've linked some tokens to it, but I've got a plan to allow that to do what it does, to get to its maximum, and then to upgrade to get that big one.
So, and I think that was another question. So obviously if you are coming in you know, at the lowest level, you can upgrade as you go, obviously. I mean, that would be logical, wouldn't it?
That's right. And it's a matter of just having a look at, okay, where are you and what are you comfortable with? Because like everything, there are no guarantees. Okay. There are no guarantees in all of this. So you start with what you're comfortable with, and then as it grows, what my mentor said to me is that once you get to a point where you can actually withdraw what you initially put in, then you're not then using your money. It's new money. Do you know what I mean? So you haven't, if everything does go to poo, you haven't actually lost any money because you've taken out your initial investment, if that makes sense. So it's a matter of looking at, okay, well, what do you want to do? Where are you? How can you start? Where do you want to be? And then this is a way that you can do it, because once you buy these nodes, they're yours for life. As long as you've got tokens linked to it, it will continue to create a return. So you don't want to buy, you don't want to have, you know, 7 of them. You might start here and then jump a few to get to here. But it's very easy to easy to do that.
Nice. Claire's saying, oh boy, I need to learn about this properly. Right now it's going whooshka over my head.
Yeah, it is a lot, but at the end of the day, all that I want you guys to take away from this is that you can start small if you want. You can start wherever you want to start. But if you just think of it as, instead of putting your money into a term deposit and getting, you know, 5% of jack all, you put your money into these nodes, and then it creates the same passive income as if you'd won $1 million and you put it into an account and you're living off the interest, sort of thing. So sort of think of it in those sorts of terms. And because at the end of the day, it comes down to, okay, well, what do you want to do? Why are you wanting to do this? Is it to pay off the mortgage? Is it to save for a deposit? Because this is something I'm going to get the kids into as well, because I don't want them living with me forever. I love you kids, but do you know what I mean? It's like time to leave the nest. But how on earth are they going to leave the nest? You know, property is ridiculously expensive, and it's so hard to save money. A lot of people live week to week, and there's not a lot left over at the end. And you know, so I'm going to get the kids set up on this. They don't know it yet. They're just going to do it.
Mum said.
Mum said, just do it. Now, our middle son, Jack, he's like, yep, all over it. How do I make money and not do anything? I want to know that. So he's all over it. It's like, okay, well, you need to, but I'm not going to do it for them. He's got a part-time job. He's still in school, mind you, too. So I said to him, you need to save up this amount of money and then we'll get you in.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. I think another question I have, Helen, is in regards to, like, and this is probably my naivety about the whole thing of crypto.
Yep.
Is can you withdraw the money out and spend it as normal money, or are there certain ways to spend it? You know, you're saying that you go in with these, and I'm probably going way into the deep information here.
No, that's all good. It's all good.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so yes and yes. All right, there you go. I will expand. So when you've got the nodes in there, so there's two things you can do. You can either have it so that it is automatically compounding. So in the beginning, that's what you want to do, because the compounding is what makes it go from here to here really quick.
Yeah.
So at any point, though, you can turn the compounding off, and your daily rewards will go over and sit into this little section. So within the platform, you've got your back office thing. So it'll sit here and you can withdraw that money at any time. So withdraw those coins, okay? You then have to go through an exchange, convert the coins into currency, and then put it into your account. Same as if you were buying and selling shares. You have to sell the shares, they then put it into your account, and then you spend it however you want to spend it. Or you can you can put it into your own digital wallet. And there's a lot of things where you can pay using crypto. So you don't have to turn it into Australian dollars. You can leave it in, well, depending on what sort of currency, cryptocurrency the place is taking, you can have it into that as well. So there's different ways that you can do it. But absolutely, you can take that money out and spend it. Because that's the plan for Matt and I as well. It's like we will want to stop working and have this as it becomes our income.
And I think, and like you say, the ladies that you're looking to help, that's what they're needing is that financial income. So eventually, that's what they're going to need to do. So personally, I'm loving this because you are alleviating a lot of my fears and a lot of my doubts, because I have been in the past one of these people who's heard the word crypto and gone, shut down.
And I get that. It is a bit scary. And if you don't know people, I think especially with money, it's like, well, I don't want to give my money to you, because a lot of the Bitcoin ones that have sort of approached me, it says, well, and I haven't fully understood it, but in my head, they were asking me to give them money. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But that may or may not be correct. But that's sort of the perception. Whereas this is like, it's got nothing to do with me. We set you up. You have to have go through a legitimate exchange. You need to set up your own digital wallet and all of that sort of stuff. And everything is very secure. There's two-factor author on everything as well. So there's no way anyone can actually access your account unless you give them the access. And because everyone thinks, stuff can get hacked, I just want to touch on that very briefly. In the digital currency crypto world, because it's a decentralized network, what that means, so think of it like each transaction sort of doesn't relate to each other. So if you've got 3 transactions that have happened, this one is linked to this one. This one is linked to this one. This one's got nothing to do with this one. So because of that, it's extremely hard to hack. Bitcoin is virtually unhackable. Okay. It's like if you had a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle and you had one piece in 1,000 different boxes with 1,000 different other pieces and trying to put a puzzle together, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's decentralized networks are incredibly secure. Because of that, they're hard to hack, and because they're spread across the world, they're not operated by one place, one entity. If something happens to fall over here, it doesn't affect everyone else, can still keep moving on because it's spread across the world. So it's really quite robust as well.
I don't know about anyone else watching this, but you really are alleviating a lot of my doubts, a lot of my fears at the moment. And girl, I'm just going to say it right now, you and I are going to talk.
All right.
And I think the thing that I appreciate as well, Helen, is that you are a very genuine person, because there are a lot of, we've all had it. We've all had the spammy messages, about crypto and stuff like that. Susie's saying, I can't wait to start this journey. I think I'm the same, Suze. I'm with you, and that's why like you said, you've come into this space and you've said, I know you, you are attached to her, and I know, like, and trust you. So I'm gonna, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is nice to speak to someone who A, has been in business for a while, B, someone who is a genuine person and a lovely person, and you not only get the struggles of business, you get the struggles of life. Does that make sense? And
yeah.
Keeping
it real, Ali.
Pardon?
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real, sister.
Yeah. That probably wasn't even how you do it. I don't know.
I do it all the time. I did it yesterday. I go, feel your sister like that. What would Susie say? This is definitely a great way to create security for yourself and your family. It's so exciting. Yeah, that's right. And, and I'm not ashamed to admit that, like I said before, I have been in a financial position where I haven't known where I was going to go. And business can be tough. It's a day-to-day thing a lot of the time. And we do have a lot of people talking about, the fact that we need multiple incomes happening and that passive income. And to have some genuine passive income happening in the background, working for you is a freaking exciting thought. More than super, more than a term deposit, more than all of that.
You gotta have money in super to accumulate super.
Too, that's right. And
Matt and our super is not very good.
Yeah,
it's not good because it's kind of like, oh yeah, super.
Well, this is another thing that can happen too. For instance, like people our age, and full transparency, this has happened to me where I've lost, my history is I left the day job. I had a payout. It didn't last long. I had to access my super. And there's not much left. Trust me, there is not much left. And now I'm running my own business. But then to be able to put money back into that super, you have to have a fair bit of money coming in. So it's yet another.
Exactly.
So it does excite me.
Especially if you're trying to... Sorry.
Go on. Yeah. No, go on. Go for it.
No, I was going to say, we've got to prioritize where we put our money. So if we've got, we've got the normal bills to pay, the food, the rent, then okay, well, if I don't want to pay rent or mortgage, whatever, and then if I am paying rent, but I want to stop that, I need to save, a lot of money for a deposit. And then it's like, super, you're way down the end of the queue. Sorry. And if there's anything left over, because then we got the BAS, we got the income tax. There's all these things that need to take priority sometimes ahead of poor old super.
Poor old super. It just gets lost.
Poor old super. And even the returns on super, I was looking at it, and I used to think it was good, but I've been looking at it lately, and now I know what I know is actually possible in this. And they're going, we get 8.87 return a year on super. I was like, it's nothing. Nothing, super.
Oh, I'm definitely talking to you then. So you've mentioned one topic, and I forgot what it is now, that you were going to talk about in the expo. So what are you thinking about sharing more with us on in the expo? Because I'll be watching and listening very closely.
The first one I'm going to talk about is mindset. You know this more than anyone else because you teach mindset as well. How we feel about money is, how we feel about everything is really important. But money seems to be that thing that a lot of women get stuck in. So I'm going to talk about mindset a little bit first, because you've got to get that right. And it's how you just, I'm going to give a few little tips and things on how you can just sort of reframe it and shift it so that when you think about money, instead of, clenching, you can be a bit relaxed, because this is how it works with the whole law of attraction thing, with everything, not just money. You've got to be vibrating up here and not stressed and worried and anxious and all the rest of it, and desperate even, you know. So I'm going to talk about mindset. I'm going to talk about compounding so people can understand how compounding actually works and the power of compounding. And then it's all well and good to know that if you don't know how to actually use it. So then I'm going to talk more about the nodes, explain that. I'm going to show you guys my node, my back office, so you can see how it actually works, because I think that'll be helpful. I'm a little bit of a visual. It's like, yeah, you can tell me, just show me.
I'm like
and
that
then
too.
it's like, yeah. So I'll show you how that works as well. And yeah, and if you like it, great. We can have a bit more of a chat. There'll be opportunities for people to book in to have an hour conversation with me. I've got an Expo special for that. I can't remember what I put on it, 30 something bucks. So that we can just at least have a look at where you are, and I'll spend a bit of time with you. And they've got a simulator. So you can have a look at, okay, if you buy this node and put this much in it, how long until it goes to here? So you can actually see, there'll be a proper, I can see how I can get to that point. Because I used to be, Matt, God love him, he loves going on realestate.com and he'd look at all these houses and he'd show me these houses. And it's like, yeah, I don't even want to look at it because I know it's not even possible. So don't even
show me.
Don't even show me. Don't even show me, because I'm not even, it's never going to happen. I don't even want to start to think it's going to happen because it's never going to happen. Now it's like, oh yeah, show me, because now I can see how it's going to be possible. So the simulator is, something that I'll be showing you guys as well, how that works. And if you want to have a one-on-one and have a proper look at how that works for you, you can book in and do that. And I'm giving each day of the expo, the prize is going to be a free hour on the simulator.
Oh, there you go, guys. Yeah, get on it. There you go.
Yeah.
If you are thinking about coming to talk to Helen, come into the expo, because not only is there potentially for you to win something, but you can also, if you don't win, you can also get, a special, which is awesome. Susan's saying compounding is the Dutch nuts. That's definitely Susan.
It is. Yeah. If anyone doesn't know what compounding is, Google compounding 1 cent over 30 days.
Oh, wait, hang on.
All right. And it'll show you what compounding is. I've done a little video as well in my album on that. So if you don't want to Google it, go have a look in my album.
1 cent over 30 days.
30
I'm typing that
days.
down. I'm going to read it later.
Yeah. And you'll see what's possible with the power of compounding.
Oh my God, what? Okay, sorry, I just read something.
Wow. You saw the number, didn't you?
I did see the number, and I just
you saw the number.
Passed out. It's a good pass out, by the way. So if you haven't Googled it, go and Google it straight after this, because we are 1,000% going to talk, girl.
So I've done a little video on compounding in my album as well, if people wanted to just watch that. Yeah.
I'm all over it.
Get into the album.
Get into the album. We have popped the link for your expo into the comments. Now, if you want to check out what Helen has to offer, she has have you finished setting up your album, or are you still going?
I'm still going, but I'm doing it strategically. I'm doing one a day to keep me up the top. It's all about me.
No, it's perfect. Come on in, guys. Join the expo. It is 100% free for visitors to join. And check out Helen's stall album. It's in the media section under albums. You can see it there. Future-proof your finances. And go and check it out, because obviously Helen knows her stuff, and well worth a look, especially if you are a woman who is looking to improve your finances. Helen, it has been an absolute pleasure. I always do end with this one question. If you could give a piece of advice to people watching this, what would it be?
I think just start Now, even if you think you don't have a lot of money to start with, it doesn't matter. You know, what's that saying? I'm really good at butchering sayings. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. All right. So in hindsight, you know, we all should have bought property, you know, last century when it was cheap as chips. But it's all relative. So don't keep putting it off, okay? Because you can actually start with a small amount and grow it. Obviously, the more that you're able to start with, the faster it's going to grow. But it's not about that. It's about doing something that is going to move you towards having more security around your finances.
We all need to start somewhere.
Yeah,
I think that's
and it's
well,
and if it sounds confusing and all of that sort of stuff, most things do when you first learn about them, but it truly is quite simple once you get your head around it. And but that's why I'm here, to help you get your head around it.
It is. And you know, as someone who is not good with numbers, I'm really not. I didn't pass maths in high school. You know, you have made me feel a lot more relaxed about, you know, potentially moving forward with it. So thank you, Helen. This has been
You're welcome.
very informative. Love chatting with you today, and cannot wait to see what you have for us in the Expo. It's going to be awesome.
Thanks so much, Ali.
No worries, darling. I'm going to pop you below. Don't go away. We'll come back after the interview, but thanks again, Helen.
Okay.
Wow. That is absolutely fantastic. I have never been more excited about crypto, and this is coming from someone who, like I said before, used to hear that word and go shut down. So I've completely done a 180, which is awesome. Now, guys, before we finish today, as you can see scrolling across the bottom, we have our Expo is officially sold out for stall holders and sponsors in October. But if you would like to join us as a visitor for free, you are very welcome to do so. My beautiful virtual assistant Parme has pinned a comment to this live where you can just go to the Facebook group and join for free. Now, when you go into the Expo group, you will see people like Helen setting up their stall albums. You can go into them now. You don't have to wait until October to go in and check what everyone's offering. And, you know, you'll be able to see us setting everything up from the back end, which is exciting. And also, you never know, you might catch a bargain nice and early. And, you know, it is nearly October, guys. The Expo's in October. It's time to start your Christmas shopping. Can't believe I just said that, but it's true. You will be able to get heaps of information and access to heaps of incredible products and services in the Expo. So also, the last thing I want to mention is, yes, while we are sold out for October, we are now offering places for our February virtual Expo. It is on February the 5th, 6th and 7th. I think the dates are right. My mind's not quite in 2025 yet. But if you would like more information, I can see a couple of you have put it already in the comments. Pop Expo 2025 in the comments and we will be in touch. Now, the other thing that we are offering right now is annual subscriptions to all 3 Expos that we have next year. And if you want to register for all 3 Expos, you will get 10% off. So it's an absolute bargain. There's bargain already. Look at that. You haven't even joined it and there's bargains already. So we would love to see you. So again, just pop Expo 2025 in the comments and we will be in touch with you. And those of you who have already commented, I can see, and I'll certainly be in touch with you shortly. So thanks again, guys, for joining today in our sponsors interview. We have our final 2 interviews coming up next week. I know, I'm trying to remember who they are. Oh, that's right. We have Lorraine Enright, who is absolutely beautiful. We're going to learn all about Lorraine. And then we have Trouble in a Handbasket. She knows who she is. It's Susie Manley. We have her as well. So it'll be exciting to see you next week, guys, for our final sponsors spotlight interviews before we head into our Expo the next week. So, guys, thank you again for watching today. Have a very happy rest of your day. A fantastic weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.